Good morning, how are you, Khamis? Today, inshallah, we will start with workbook, unit 5. All of you, open page 42. Now, let's start with the question number 1. It's study skills, okay? Before we reading, let's read what he said here. A verb tells you about happens in a sentences. يعني الverb اللي هو الفعل tells you يخبرك what happens in sentences ماذا يحدث بالجملة. So, هون الverb نوع من انواع classification of the word اللي هو الverb. اول اشي اللي هو الverb. Okay, so what is the verb? A verb tells you what happens in sentences. ماذا يحدث بالجملة. Let's start with number 1. Read about verbs. Now, the ship sailed near the rocks. 2. The men saw a terrible monster. 3. The monster was watching the sailors. Now, look at sentences number 1. Sailed. So the classification of verb sailed here, verb 1 or verb 2. As you see, verb 2, sailed, saw in simple past. The men saw, also here the verb 2, simple past. The monster was watching the sailors. No, here the verb is changing to past continuous, was watching. If you remember past continuous, was or were plus verb ing, right? Now, let's move now. Underline the verbs in these sentences. Number 1, the moon was shining on the water. So, here the verb here was shining. It's past continuous. Was shining, was plus the verb ing was shining. 2, when the phone rang, Linda answered it. So, the verb here in sentences number 2, rang and answered. Rang, answered. 3. The little girl began to cry because she was lost. Now, the verb here in sentence number 3, began, also it's in simple past, cry. It's a past form or infinitive verb, and was from verb to be. Okay? So here in sentence number 3, we have three verbs, began, cry, and was. Now, in your dictionary, the abbreviation for a verb is V. Now, all of you, we know that the meaning of abbreviation, it's mean اختصار. يعني اختصارها للverbs اللي هي حرف ال V يا خامس. يعني أنا إذا بدي أكتب ما بدي أكتب الكلمة مطولة verb بختصرها بحرف ال V. هذا اللي هو abbreviation للverb. Okay? Now, choose a page in your dictionary. How many verbs can you find? Write the words. هذا السؤال. It's not necessary. Now, let's move to question number 2. Write the words in the box next to their definitions. All of you know what do you mean by definitions? Definitions معناتها تعريفاتهم. يعني we have here a word and we have to write the correct definition near each one. Okay? Now, the word in the box: wife, rock, row, whirlpool, tear, hero. Wife, it means زوجة. rock, صخرة. row, يجدف. whirlpool, دوامة. tear, يمزق. hero, بطل. Number 1, to pull into pieces, tear. Number 1, to pull into pieces, tear. 2, a dangerous place in a river or sea where water spins round and round, whirlpool. So the correct answer is whirlpool. Number 2. 3, to move from side to side. To move from side to side. rock. معنى هون يتأرجح. تيجي معنى rock هون معنى صخر وتيجي معنى يتأرجح. اوكي يا خامس. Number 4, a married woman, wife. A married woman, wife. 5, a very brave man, hero. Hero. Number 6, to move a boat by pulling on a rod long pieces of a wood. The row معنى يجدف. Okay? Now, let's move. Now, check your answers in your dictionary. Did you get them right? هل حصلت عليهم جيدا? We don't know. Okay? Now, let's move to your workbook in page 43. Okay? Let's start with the question, reading comprehension and vocabulary. Read the voyage Odysseus again. Match the sentences beginnings and endings. Now I want to match between the first sentences and the end of the sentences. Okay? Odysseus was, number 1, with D. Odysseus was a famous Greek hero. So, number 1 with D. Number 1 with D. Okay? 2, Odysseus' boat passed The monster cave. So number 2 with I. Number 2 with I. Okay, he passed the monster cave. Number 3, the first monster had 6 heads. Is a number 3 with J. 6 head with J. The other monster was pulled down by the whirlpool or calypso. Yes, with F, a giant whirlpool. A giant whirlpool is a number 4 with F, a giant whirlpool. Now 5, the winter تمزق يعني الwind. The ship sailed. So number 5 with C. Number 5 with C. 6, the ship's mast broke with G in the storm. With G in the storm. Number 7, the sailors with H all drowned. كلهم غرقوا with H. Okay. Number 8, the ship was with A pulled down by the whirlpool. So number 8 with A. With A. Okay. Number 9, Odysseus swam to an island. So with E. سبح إلى الجزيرة. Number 10, the girl's name was, what's her name? Calypso. So number 10 with B. Now let's start with 1 with D, 2 with I, 3 with J, 4 with F, 5 with C, 6 with G, 7 with H, 8 with A, 9 with E, and 10 with B. تمام? Okay, now let's move to question number 3. Read the words and definitions. بنقرأ كلمات ومعانيهم. Write the words next to the correct definition. Mast اللي هي ساري، near بقريب، sail شراع، escape يهرب، horrifying مرعب. Number 1, very frightening اللي هو horrifying. Number 2, to get away from, escape يهرب. 3, not far from, nearby يعني ليس بعيدا. 4, the tall piece of the wood in the middle of the sailing boat اللي هي الماست الشراع. Number 5, the big piece of the cloth that hangs from the mast of sailing boat اللي هي السيل. Okay يا خامس؟ يلا يعطيكم ألف عافية. So today we answered in your workbook page 42 and 43.